Hey everyone, Brian Balon here, your local Phoenix realtor. It's been a minute, I have to say. And one of my videos I did a couple months ago, actually now, on how to get your real estate license, there was a request for a video on how to choose a brokerage, a real estate brokerage to hang your license. And I wanted to provide this video to you and to all those that are subscribing and just anyone out there who's looking to hang their license with a brokerage, this very important question and answering a couple things that surround it. So before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Comment if you have any questions. Definitely want to get back and answer your questions and address those. I'm also having a couple classes that I'm going to start running throughout in 2021. So a lot of them will have to do about mindset or real estate success, those kinds of things. So if you want to be part of that, please email me as well or drop a comment. I can add you to it. So anyway, let's get to the content. So we're talking about how to get your, how to basically choose a brokerage to hang your license with. And this is a really, really important question. If you're a new agent, or even if you are an experienced agent looking to transfer to a different brokerage, or maybe you were just one of those agents who, you go through finding different brokerages just to find the greener pastures in the place that fits. So to make it easy, I have a couple things that if you kind of get clarity on, and you can ask the brokerage that you're interested in joining or have heard good things about, that you can get clarity on these items so that when you actually meet with them, you'll be ready to go. So first thing is get clear on your long-term goals. Like, this is so important. And answering the question in your own business, what exactly do you want to get out of your business, right? Is it an income goal? Is it becoming someone who's just really great at recruiting agents? Or do you want to become a broker someday, right? Like, or just do management? What is it in real estate that you want to do? And exploring those options is the starting point for that. And then once you get an idea of what path you want to take in real estate, then you can basically join a brokerage that aligns with those goals. Now, without saying any particular brokerage, there are some that place and reward your agents for recruiting and bringing agents to the brokerage. So if you are wanting to focus more on that or having that as a secondary business inside of your real estate business, then joining a brokerage that has a lot of support, a lot of training, and a reward structure that will be beneficial for you is going to be key. Second is, if you are looking to build or really just be a successful individual real estate agent, then find a place that's going to help you do that, right? So, and you're going to bring these questions, right? You're going to ask, if you want to be an awesome recruiter, you tell your broker, hey, I want to be, I have a lot of friends that want to be in real estate or in real estate. I want to influence them and help them come to my brokerage. Then ask them about that and have that conversation. But if it's, you want to be an awesome individual real estate agent, then, I would start asking them about, how can I be successful as an agent in this brokerage? If you want to build a team, a mega team, right? Mega team meaning you have multiple agents under you, you have an admin team, marketing team, all that kind of stuff. What are the systems and structure for that, for you to be successful? And do you want to expand? What if you want to go to, let's say I'm in Phoenix, I wanted to go to San Diego or Miami or New York, someplace, right? What are the structures and systems that exist within the brokerage nationally that I can expand, or maybe even have ambition to go international? So these are some of the questions. If you get clarity on what your outcome is, right? What is your goal in your real estate career? Then you can basically find a brokerage that will help you attain that. So once you get clear on the long-term goals, then you need to align basically a couple more things. One is, what kind of environment you need to succeed? What kind of help, systems, and support do you need to attain your goals? So when you understand what your outcome is, you're basically asking the brokerage and interviewing them to see how well they can help you succeed in your goals. This is just my opinion. Every agent probably have a different opinion than me, or maybe some would agree. But if you're going to hang your license with a broker, basically it allows us, a broker really benefits from you being part of their brokerage. Now, careful, like, when I first heard that, right, I thought, well, okay, then they want me. So I, kind of had this mindset that I could, just basically, I had so much leverage, right, that I could just choose whatever brokerage I wanted. They'd take me. Well, part of that is true, but still keep your feet on the ground because you still are in a partnership with them, right? So they definitely want you, but there's also an aspect where you're contributing to them, right? Like you will be contributing to them, and they also will contribute to you and your goals. So we're thinking mutually beneficial, right? Win-win. How do you enter into a relationship with a brokerage that is win-win? So asking these questions. So, what kind of systems, what kinds of training, what kind of support, right? So support, especially if you're a brand new agent and you're going to go into, doing your own transactions, do you want to be in a situation where they just tell you, all right, go ahead, good luck, like go figure it out on your own? I'll tell you, for me, I needed my broker to hold my hand the first couple deals. It took me about 6, and that's usually about the right numbers, 6 transactions before you have an understanding of the basic process. And in those 6, you'll probably have, a couple unique situations, so you can kind of get a hang for how to handle some unique situations. But that's really all it is. It's just repetition. But to be able to get to a place of efficiency and proficiency in your contract to close process, you're going to need that support, someone to make sure that you're doing things right contractually, you're representing your clients. So ask them, what kind of support do you have for me as I'm going through my first few deals? Okay, so get clear on your long-term goals and find alignment for with that brokerage to help you get and achieve your goals. So 2, interview a few brokerages. And when you interview a brokerage, write out what are the things that they're pitching to you, right? What are the benefits of their value add to your business or to your career? So those are the pros. And what are the cons, right? And cons don't always mean cost, but usually it will come, especially for newer agents. You'll think cons are just how much it costs. Definitely encourage you, and I've talked to several new agents that I've been working with, and not to make cost the number one factor, because at the end of the day, if it costs a little bit more, and I'm talking like a few $100s or even a few $1,000s to get the education, get the support, get the training, and be surrounded in the right environment, think of that as an investment up front to pay back for, basically you will be returned. The ROI on that will be, I don't know, 100-fold, could be even more later down in your career. The key is just to think about having the alignment and the things that are important to helping you be successful in real estate in place so that you have the best chance of success in your career. So write out the pros, write out the cons, and you can use some of the measurements that I talked about before, which is what's the environment, what kind of support, what kind of people are in the brokerage, what's the culture, right? What systems do they have? These kinds of things. You can line that up and ask them and kind of plot out what are the differences with each brokerage, but interview a couple, 3 of them at least. And also too, get a feel, use your gut. Use your gut to an extent, right? Because when you come into a brokerage, of course it's harder right now because of the pandemic, maybe there's not as many people in the office. So keep that in mind as well. But you'll definitely be aware of what the feel is. And here's a suggestion. One of the good ways you can get a feel for it is go to a team meeting. You attend a team meeting, get an idea of what the team leader or whoever, the broker, how they run things, what's the energy, and how do they communicate with each other in the team meeting. And if when things get back to better, they'll get back or better and get back to normal. You want to get a feel for the brokerage, like what's the energy in the office. Are people talking? Are they collaborating? Are people just goofing off, or just not? They're coming to like a mastermind session, or they're coming to a cold calling session, and it's just nothing's really happening. These are some really good things just to watch out for. So interview a couple brokerage, get a feel for the energy as you walk into the brokerage or you go into a team meeting. Just get a feel for it and see if it's a fit for you. All right, 3 is understand the name of the company is irrelevant. And what I mean by that is not in a sense of Well, more in the sense of the brand, right? So, some will say, if I'm with XYZ brokerage, oh, they have, this reputation, this reputation. What really matters is that people will do business with you and not necessarily the company. Now, one stipulation there is if the company has a terrible reputation, or in the community or something that's going to harm your business, then, that's something definitely to weigh. And so that's pretty much just the only way it's going to affect you. It's your business, your clients, and you are basically the ambassador of your own brand, basically, because you're the brand as an agent, and you're marketing yourself that way. You've just partnered with a brokerage and you're getting their support. You're using their brokerage license, right? And their brand as well. So you're kind of co-branding with them. But really the face of XYZ brokerage, no matter who you hang your license with, is you, especially if you're the one that's talking to the client, if you're door knocking, if you're talking on the phone, etc. So the name's not as important. It's the previous stuff that I was talking about is important. The things I'll talk about next. Okay, so next is understand that not all brokerages are created equal. So let's say you're an XYZ brokerage, right? Like the big franchise XYZ brokerage. Now there's multiple offices of XYZ brokerage in your local city. Say, for instance, let's say there's 10 different brokerages of XYZ. Keep in mind that not every single one is going to be the same. The reason why that is because a lot of these brokerages are franchised and they're independently owned and operated, meaning they have different ownership. Not all the time, but most of the time they have different ownership, different team leadership, different leadership in general, different people, different location, right? Different culture. So back to my point before, it's really important for you to get inside of that organization, of that brokerage, and get a feel for what's actually going on, who the leadership is, right? How they talk to each other. Are they growing as a market, like as a brokerage or as a market center, right? That's important to figure out. Are they growing numerically? Are the agents producing more, right? So these are some more things. All right, so a couple more questions to ask, and these are just kind of off the hip, if you will. But here's a question to ask. Here is where I'm telling your broker, here is where I'm at currently. Here is where I want to go. Do you have a proven game plan to help me accomplish this? And if so, do you have any agents currently in the brokerage that have achieved this? Okay. So all you're trying to find out is proven track record, right? Can the broker help someone go from starting to, doing 50 transactions a year or whatever it is, right? Or going from a solo agent to a mega team leader, and how many of those, and when was the last time that happened for whatever situation you're interested in. Again, you're basically asking about your goals and how is the broker going to help you attain your goals. So that's one question. Another one is what support do you provide, which we talked about. Another one is what systems do you provide. So systems is sort of along the lines of training. So can you teach me how to do real estate, how to sell real estate? Remember, real estate school teaches you how basically not to get sued. The legal stuff doesn't teach you how to sell real estate, how to get clients. So when you go to a brokerage, sometimes for new agents, they think, well, the broker's going to teach me how to do it. Not all the time. So that's why interviewing them is really important. So what systems do you provide? So training. What's your fee structure for you as a realtor? Now, if you have a plan later to add an assistant or another agent on your team, or 5 agents or 10, ask about that as well. What is the fee structure for having a team or being a solo agent? For every transaction, what happens? So there's 2 main ways, and of course, a lot of brokers have different ways of doing the fee structure. But one of them is a split. So they basically, every transaction you do, the brokerage keeps a certain percentage and they give you a certain percentage. And they can do that for all of your transactions, or they can cap it every year. So for instance, if you're, let's say you're on a 70-30 split. So you keep 70, for every transaction you do, you keep 70% and you give 30% to your brokerage. If they cap it, then let's say they cap it at, let's say $15,000 a year. So then once you pay out of those 30%, you pay up to 15 grand, then they'll cap it. Then you're at, let's say 100%. So now you're not paying anymore towards the brokerage. Now you're keeping 100% of your commission. So that's one fee structure. So sometimes some places will cap it, and that cap number, right, whether it's 15, 10, 20, whatever it is, it depends on the market center or the brokerage. In the other way is that they can basically just charge you a flat fee per month. Let's say it's $200 or $300, $500, whatever it is. And then they charge you per transaction a flat fee. So let's say you're paying $300 a month somewhere just to hang your license with them, whether you do any deals or not. It's just a, like a membership fee of some kind, brokerage fee. And then after that, then every transaction you do costs $500. So how is that important? Well, if you are going to do the flat fee, or let's say like you just charge, let's say $500, let's say it is per transaction. Well, if you're planning on only doing like 4 or like 10 transactions or less a year, that's going to be the cheaper route for you. Because, if you, let's say it's $500 a transaction, you do 10 transactions, then that's $5,000 for 10 transactions. If you are in a company that was charging, let's say, a 70-30 split, if you do 4 transactions, you're paying like $10,000. So if you're only planning on doing a small amount, if you're part-time, it might even be better for you to join a like a per transaction kind of deal. If you are looking to build a big business, like you're in real estate, this is where you're making your income and you want to go big, then the split with cap is going to be cheaper the more transactions that you do. Because once you hit 100%, then you're basically that 70-30 can improve, right, over to, let's say you're making $1 million a year, right? Like $10,000 is like 1%. Let's say you cap at 10,000. So now if you make $1 million a year and you only paid $10,000 to the market center or your brokerage, then you had a 99-1 split. So you kept 99% of your commission and you gave 1% to the market center. So then that's the other avenue. You go by transaction is probably more ideal. All right. So what are all the office locations and what access do you have to them? It's another thing. And then one important thing I want to highlight here is getting their support and backing. Because in real estate, there's a lot of things that are sort of outside the box. And not all brokerages are willing to go outside the box. So if you have some ideas, for instance, like some out the box ideas, or you have some creative way of doing business that hasn't been done yet, you'll want to make sure, like, run it by the broker and ask them, hey, will you back me on this? Because you need your brokerage's backing, right? And that's the thing too, is that yes, we're independent contractors, but we still work for a company, whatever brokerage we hang our license with. We're sub agents of that company. So we can't just act independently. We do need their approval on, how we make certain, decisions in our business, or contracts. If, you're going to navigate something, how to proceed with something, your broker needs to be involved if you're going to make out of the box moves, or you just have questions about legal, things, etc. All that stuff, you definitely need to run by a broker. So you're still working with them, although you're still an independent contractor. So you're asking, how much freedom do you have? Do you have the freedom to run your business and do certain things? And will they back you? Because you definitely need the backing. Once you have the backing, then you're good to go. So really what we're talking about here, the overarching theme is alignment. So we're just looking for alignment. What you want to do with your business, will they support it? If they'll support it, green light, you're all good to go. So went through a lot of stuff there. Hopefully that wasn't too overwhelming. I definitely would love to answer any questions. When it comes to brokerage, by the way, I myself have I'm with Keller Williams, and actually in Phoenix area, I'm Keller Williams Northeast Realty. I love it there. In fact, probably do a video about what it's like to be part of that brokerage, or just in Keller Williams in general, because it was the first brokerage I joined, and it's the only one I've been in my entire career. So then there's reason for that. So I can talk about that if I will most likely make a video about that. So stay tuned for that. But then, yes, another thing, just to update everyone, I am planning on doing videos more regularly. might turn into less topical like this, but I'm gonna still make topical videos, but more of like reflection and just what I'm learning throughout my career. So that might be, something that I do regularly here. I'm taking a challenge, a 100-day focus challenge. Starts on January 1st, and I'm part of an accountability group. So I'm just trying to, grow, in 2021, especially in the first 100 days, the first quarter. I have big goals. So YouTube might be part of that. So anyway, lots of stuff to come up. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.